Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another prep time with Steve. We're going to be doing reading part B today. We're going to analyze 3 individual part B items. We're going to have a slight change in format today. We're going to do a short session. It's going to be a prep half hour or prep time with Steve. As there's a demand for short, quick sessions, everyone. So that's what we're doing today, a short, sharp session designed to give you some skills to do well in your upcoming OET exam as you build your skills, and also for reading part B, one of my favorite parts of the OET exam. We're going to look at that. Now, I'm broadcasting out of Brisbane. It's just gone 8 a.m. It's summertime here. And I've got my Q&A shirt on today, in case you notice, everyone. That means if you've got questions, I hope I can provide you with some answers. We'll see. So just type in your location and the time where you are. I can see hello to Puerto Rico. Welcome to Zambia. Hello, Zimbabwe. Good to see you. Where else have we got? Having a look on, I'm on several channels, everyone. We've got UK is here, excellent. I'm just checking on the OET Facebook page as well. You can see I'm broadcasting there. I'm just going to bring up that chat. Pardon me, a wee bit of a cough, but it's fortunately I've had my rat tests and it's not COVID, which is a very positive thing. All right. There's our chats. Yes, I can just turn that off. Volume down. There we go. All right. So whatever channel you're on, everyone, just enjoy the session. And we got Ghana here as well, Nigeria. Good evening in the USA. Hello there in France. Welcome to South Sudan. Excellent to see all people coming in. Hello to Turkey. Kuwait is here. Saudi. Winter for Mame. Hello, coffee there in Bismarck, Ghana. All right. Let's get going, everyone. So, as I said, we're going to do reading part B. And I'll bring up my screen. And we'll look at eliminating incorrect options, which is a really crucial skill when you're doing any multiple choice exam. It's just as important as selecting the right answer, because sometimes the right answers are not always immediately apparent, especially when you're under a time pressured situation and feeling that stress of exam pressure. So identifying answers which are incorrect is a valuable tool to have in your arsenal so that you can make those right decisions. Even if you can't necessarily find the right answer, you might be able to find the wrong answers, and that process of elimination identify what the right answer is. Okay, so what is the reading part B? Well, again, look, it's the miracle of OET as far as I'm concerned. It's just a terrific exam where, you got an opportunity to study workplace English texts for an exam, stuff that you're going to be doing in your future work as health professionals in English-speaking countries. You're going to be reading these documents anyway. So you're basically getting a bit of workplace training while you're, preparing for the exam. You're getting a bit of workplace training, getting you ready for that workplace, like a bit of PD. So it's a great opportunity. And the types of documents that you're going to get policy documents, hospital guidelines, manuals that give instructions or how to do things. The policy documents, probably rules and regulations, same with hospital guidelines, best practice. You'll also find some internal communications and emails where you've got to identify the purpose of those emails or reason for writing. And the good thing is about these texts, they're not dense, as dense as reading part C, where it's a lot more about opinions and deeper meanings and analysis. No, it's not like that in part B. Part B is really fact-based. So to get the right answer, you just need to be able to find the fact that matches one of the answer choices. Now, of course, the other great thing about reading part B is there are only 3 answer choices, which is fantastic. So you have a 33% chance of success compared with part C, where you only have a 25% chance of success with 4 choices. So again, that's another big plus of part B. On the downside, we only get 6 questions. It'd be nice if we had more, but we only get 6 questions. But like anything, if we do a breakdown of reading, we know we've got to get a good score in part A. You know, there's 20 questions in part A, and we want to get that 15 or 16 marks, as I've mentioned in other prep sessions. We know part C is going to be difficult, and you know, some of the questions are going to be tough based on the time conditions. So part B, although there's only 6 questions, I think it's crucial to your overall result, because if you really need to nail a good score in part B, I would be suggesting 5 out of 6 would be your target. That's pretty tough, because there's always going to be the odd question or 2 that's tricky. But you want to try to get that consistency and that analytical skills so you can make the right choices most of the time. Now, it can take a little while to get to that skill level. You've got to be building vocabulary. You know, the bottom line is, if you understand the meaning of the words or expressions, that goes a long way into making the right answer choice. So never neglect vocabulary building as part of your preparation plan. Every single time you read a new task, have your notebook handy. When you find new words, not just medical words, but academic words, verbs, nouns, adjectives, adverbs, something that you're unfamiliar with, complex sentences as well. When you find those elements, make a note and learn, because every time that you do that, you're actually building your vocabulary so that you have a better chance of success when you get similar tasks in the future. And also, knowing vocabulary improves your reading speed as well, because you don't have to slow down for unfamiliar words. So vocabulary building should be a core part of your training. And then the rest, it comes down to just practice and different analysis. Now, for reading part B, there's 6 questions, and you know, you could argue that perhaps we should finish it in 9 or 10 minutes, you know, so that you have a little bit more time for part C. But I think you can make a real time investment with part B. I don't mind if you spend 12 minutes, that's 2 minutes per task, a little bit of extra time on part B, because I think the reward can be great. The reward being that you get more answers correct, and if you're a little bit more rushed, if you finish this in 9 minutes, perhaps the chance of making a mistake is higher. So do go for accuracy there. It could leave you slightly shorter time in part C. That's your risk reward strategy, but I think it could be a good investment. Especially your brain will be a little bit fresher to get your part Bs and try to get, you know, all of them correct, or if not 5 out of 6. All right, there will be 100, each text are 100 and 150 words long, so not too long. Some of them are relatively short. Some of them are getting a little bit long at 150 words, but that would be the maximum. All right, so do fire in any questions as we go along. I'm just checking my chat. No, it looks like everyone's good. Okay. Now, in terms of our strategies, well, we've got to understand the gist, which is like the essence, that's the meaning of a message, and that's common in emails, email type communications. They'll ask that type of question. The purpose of a text, which is why it was written, or perhaps who the intended reader is, but particularly why a text was written, what's the aim. And quite often, you have to identify detail and meaning at sentence level. This is really, really common in any multiple choice question. It's about identifying where that sentence is that matches one of the answer choices. But remember, a really important part of this is everything's at sentence level in OET. So I'll tell you this, everyone. Don't match at phrase or clause level, right? So if you're just, if you do a search and you skim and scan, you word search your text, and you don't read your text, and you find a phrase that matches one of the answer choices, and you think, oh, that matches, that's right. Guess what? It's probably wrong. Probably wrong. Anything with OET, reading part B or C, must always be at the whole sentence level. Otherwise, you're only going to get half the meaning, and probably there's a high chance your answer will be incorrect. So just remember that all your reading should be at sentence level. You might try to save time, skim over some words and that, but you're doing that at great risk. Okay, now we're going to look at a few strategies. We're going to say, do you read the questions carefully? Yes, we'll look at that in a moment. We're going to underline the keywords, nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs in the text, words that you think are important. There'll be a brief. We need engagement while we do this. When we're looking at our ABCs, we need to be engaging to see if we think it sounds logical or not. We won't be able to predict whether it's right or wrong at this stage, but it should be getting the neurons pumping, activating the nerves, the synapses. The thought processes have begun. You're weighing up how it sounds to you based on your medical knowledge, common sense, or how you feel about things, the words used, all of those things. Then we read the text, and then we rule out the incorrect answer choices. Then we select the correct one. That's what we do. All right, and we'll go into that with the QAT method, everyone. I think this is a really good method for part B. We read the question, STEM. We read the answer choices quickly to just get a bit of a heads up what's being asked of us and what the choices are. And then we read the text, right? Let's do our first one, everyone. Just waiting for this to turn for me. Bit of a pause there on this document. Oh, it's not moving. There we go. All right, so we got a topic here, patient confidentiality, everyone. And so we look at our questions first. I haven't revealed the text yet, right? So let's go through this process. Doctors are advised to break patient confidentiality if, or like this question. So they are advised to break confidentiality. Question to the audience. Do we normally break confidentiality? Do we normally break confidentiality? It says here, doctors are advised to break confidentiality if. If's a key word. If what? If what? A, if failure to do so would put other people in danger. Failure to do so, we didn't do it, would put other people in danger. Food for thought. are advised to break confidentiality if they inform the patient of their intention. Okay, well, that sounds fair. You're giving people a warning in advance. I'm warning you. I'm going to need to break confidentiality here for whatever reason. Or break patient confidentiality if a patient refuses to disclose information relevant to their care. So the patient's at fault here. They refuse to do something. They disclosed information. So based on that, we can break confidentiality. All right. Now, you already might have, having read that as health professionals, you might have an idea what sounds right. But let's go and check our answer to our text and see. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to read this. And what I want you to do, when you feel you know the answer, you can type it into the chat, everyone. All right. But don't type it in early. Confidentiality is central to trust between doctors and patients. Okay, that's our topic sentence. Without assurances about confidentiality, patients may be reluctant to seek medical attention or give doctors the information they need in order to provide good care. Well, that's talking about giving information, right? So they basically said this is about confidentiality, isn't it? This is what it is. Patients need assurances about confidentiality. So it's very important to patients that they have it. All right, so we know that. However, now there's our first red flag, isn't it? As soon as we see this word, we read the background, but this is a bit of a sign that the answer is probably going to be in the second section, all right, because that's our topic sentence. However, faced with a situation, and I'll just pause for a sec, everyone. I've got, I don't want you to tell me the correct answer here. I want you to use the rule out. So if you identify an answer that's incorrect, then type in the incorrect answer, not the correct answer. All right, let's use our rule out. However, faced with a situation in which a patient's refusal to consent or disclose leaves others exposed to a risk so serious that it outweighs the patient's and the public's interest in maintaining confidentiality, long sentence, or if it is not practical or safe to seek the patient's consent, information should be disclosed promptly to the appropriate person. So that seems to be a very important section of the text, doesn't it, everyone? That's giving a situation. And the question is an if, and we've got lots of ifs here. All right. So we'll see what's going on in a moment. The patient should be informed in advance that the doctor will be disclosed. Oh, there's our in advance. That was mentioned. They will be disclosing the information, providing this is a practical and safe, okay, even if the doctor intends to disclose without the patient's consent. So they are going to disclose without patient's consent, right? All right. Now, I want your thoughts, everyone. What do you think is wrong here? Which answers are incorrect? And feel free to type in your reason. All right. We've got some people saying B and C are incorrect. Some saying A. Some saying C. I'm getting a bit of variation in our answers here. While I'm waiting for that, I'm going to identify a few sections of the text. Setting up my chats a bit better, everyone, so I could see what you're writing. Some saying C and B are wrong. Some saying B is incorrect. Well, let's start with B. And anyone welcome to tell me their thoughts. So a lot of people are saying B is incorrect. All right. So it says here, They can break confidential if they inform the patient in advance. So we can match in advance, but we have to read the whole sentence. So there is a word match. The patient should be informed in advance that the doctor will be disclosing the information. Well, if I read that, I would actually say, if I read this, half the sentence, that matches. Should be informed, right? They inform, but the question says they're advised to break confidentiality. It's not really about that the patient should be informed in advance that they'll be disclosing. Doesn't quite match the sentence, but also it says here, providing this is practical and safe. Well, I've got a question. What does this mean? This is the key vocabulary. Providing this is practical and safe. That means as long as or only if. So provided is the key word here. Provided. So remember that word if you're not sure of it. It means as long as or only if. All right. If it's safe, but if it's not safe, if it's not practical or it's not safe, then you don't have to do it. So you've got a bit of an out clause there. So no, that's wrong. That's wrong. And that's that language analysis. And it doesn't make sense as a rule. All right. A lot of people saying C is incorrect, right? Doctors are advised to break confidentiality if a patient refuses to disclose information relevant to the care. Well, we did read about that, didn't we? About disclosure of information. And what does it say here? It says, faced with a situation in which a patient's refusal to consent or disclosure leaves others exposed to risk, yeah, or if it is not practical or safe to seek the patient's consent, information should be disclosed promptly. Well, it says, yes, faced with a situation in which a patient's refusal to consent or leaves others exposed, patient refuses to disclose information. Again, it's only half the sentence. We can see the danger, can't we, everyone's what I said earlier. These words are mentioned, but it's just a phrase, right? But it's not giving a reason to break. We don't break confidentiality if a patient refuses to disclose information. No, we don't do that. It's when we're faced with that situation and that there's a danger to other people, then we disclose it. So yes, it doesn't make sense. So it doesn't match that sentence. So the answer is A, isn't it, everyone? Well done. And it does say that failure to do so would put other people in danger. Oh, let's use our synonyms, everyone. Can you give me a synonym for in danger? Faced with a situation, well, this is if. This is the situation. Failure to do so. A patient's refusal to consent or disclosure leaves others exposed to a risk so serious that it outweighs the patient's and the public's interest in maintaining confidentiality, information. Here it is. Information should be disclosed promptly to an appropriate person. Yes, so in danger means at risk, and that's it. Information should be disclosed, yes, and if you didn't, it would cause a lot of risk. All right, and that's the answer, everyone. Now, what I think this is exposed, and does everyone agree with me? We must read at sentence level. We can't read at phrase level. So B and C were both there, but I think a lot of people in real life could choose B or C under pressure, but they're incorrect, right? They're incorrect because it's only a phrase and you must read the whole sentence to get the answer. And as health professionals, This is quite logical, isn't it, everyone? Only break confidentiality if failure to do so, if not breaking confidentiality, would put other people in danger. You're health professionals, it's all about public safety. You do whatever you can to keep your patients safe. So it sort of makes sense. But if you're not putting other people in danger, then don't break the confidentiality. So that's kind of logical and makes sense. Okay, and common topic, everyone. Look, I suggest read up about matters of confidentiality as part of your own research. There's a wealth of language in this field, a lot of legal language, and it comes up a lot in OET, particularly reading can also come up in the speaking test and in the listening. So I suggest everyone read up on patient confidentiality, a great thing to do. Okay, next one, stock requisitioning. This is a practical based one, isn't it, everyone? As health professionals, you need to order stock. So let's have a look. This policy document states that nurses, right, must sign a paper form if they want any new stock. Okay, so this is a must, everyone. Nurses must sign a paper form if they want new stock. Okay, that's 100. We know what must is, everyone. That's our 100%. There's no doubt about that. They must do it if they want new stock. It's clear. B, can order medicines from the pharmacy in some cases. Okay, so this one's not so clear. So can, that's a modal verb. They can, they're allowed to. They can order medicines in some cases, not all. So maybe if we were putting percentages, it's just a possibility. Maybe we just say 50, we'll just go middle, some cases, 50%. We don't really need to put a number on these, but it just helps make it clear, doesn't it? It's an option, right? 50-50, you don't have to. But they can order medicines in some cases. That nurses should speak to the pharmacist if a drug is needed urgent. Okay, they should. So this isn't a must, but it's close to a must. Should is an obligation, right? It's a modal verb as well, like can, but it's an obligation, something you should do, right? Not quite as strong as must, but very, very close. You know, it's advised, should speak. All right, so there's that choice. I like these questions. I feel when you get one like this with analysis, we should be able to come up with the answer. Let's hope the reading is not too long. Okay, let's start with the first half. Stock requisitioning. If stock levels of a medication are low, the nurse should firstly liaise directly with their ward-based team to arrange urgent stock replenishment. Okay, so they have to liaise with someone. Now, B and C mention the pharmacy, and A is just about the paper. So just be aware of those similarities there. If the ward-based team is unavailable, okay, now watch the if sentence, everyone. If the ward-based team is unavailable, the nurse should complete a request form online and email it to the pharmacy. Okay, so they've got to do an online form and they've got to email it. Paper-based ordering systems are available. There's a medicines requisition book. However, they should not be relied on if ward stock is urgently needed. So we better go for online if we're in a hurry. All right, now if you identify anyone that's incorrect so far, type it in. Anything you see as being wrong. At-risk medicines, diazepam, codeine, phosphate, cocodamol, may only be ordered for stock when a paper requisition is written. Okay, so some medications for stock, not urgent use, for stock, when it's done on paper. Paper-based requisition should be complete, legible, and signed, and then sent to the pharmacy department. Okay, that's at-risk medicines. Ward clinical areas using MediWell 375 cabinets 36 will have orders transmitted automatically to pharmacy on a daily basis as stock is used. So there is some sort of automated procedure. Maybe some of you know this one. There's an automatic trigger. All right, people are coming in with incorrect answers. Some are saying A is incorrect. Some are saying B is incorrect. Is that right? Some are saying C, but we've got a bit of a mixed bag here. Right, remember you're putting in the incorrect ones, everyone. Right, let's have a look at A. The policy document states that nurses must sign a paper form. Well, must, all right. But we've got here, it doesn't quite match, does it? Must sign a paper form if they want new stock. But it says here they can do an online form, doesn't it? Nurse should complete an online form. So yes, people are saying A is incorrect. I agree. They do need to sign a paper form. This says any new stock, but there is a paper form for diazepam, codeine, phosphate, cocodamol, but not any new stock. So the danger here for this one is that word any, isn't it? Any new stock. Okay, we'll get it for our Schedule 8 medications, all right? But that doesn't match, all right? That's only for at risk. For other stuff, you can do the online form. All right, what else can we rule out, everyone? Some people are saying C is the correct answer. Should speak to the pharmacist if a drug is needed. So we've got to look at our verbs, everyone. Should speak to the pharmacist. Well, they certainly have to communicate to the pharmacist in some cases. They can do that online and email or by a paper base, but there's nothing mentioned that they should speak. And it says here, if urgent, well, it does say you shouldn't rely on paper-based if you need something urgent. It does say that, but it doesn't say in such cases, make a telephone call, right? So if you chose C, that would be an assumption, right? Few people are going for C as correct, but that would be an assumption. It just says if it's urgent, don't do paper-based, but it doesn't say speak, all right? It does say liaise directly to the ward-based team, right? And you could assume that you don't really know that speak, but that's not really what they're saying. If the ward-based team is unavailable, and that's not for that's to arrange urgent replenishment, yes, but that doesn't match here with the pharmacy. So the question is about the pharmacy situation. So the answer is not B. It's got to be an online request form. So therefore, not C. Therefore, the answer is B. Did you get it, everyone? Can order medicine from the pharmacy in some cases. All right, let's analyze that. In which cases can they do it? In which cases? Well, nurses can. In which case? If a ward-based team is unavailable. That matches. They can order directly if they're ward-based team. So nurses would normally go to someone on their ward. That's who they speak to, right? They don't speak to the pharmacist. They speak to the ward. So there's the trap of C, everyone. They speak to ward staff, to their ward team. And that's not the pharmacist in this case. All right. How's that, everyone? Did you get it? Could you work it out? Definitely B. Okay, but we got to do that analysis under pressure. It's tricky. And look at the key for me, can order, right? If's a bit like can, if the ward team, that means you can do it. And in some cases, right? Which case? The case the ward team is unavailable. There's your situation in some cases. If the ward team's available, no, you shouldn't do that. Just go to your ward team, all right? That's first, go to your ward team. It tells you that's your first situation. But if they're unavailable, so this is an important word as well, everyone. Firstly, liaise directly with the team. But if they're if they're unavailable, it's that timeline, everyone. All right, great work, everyone. All right, let's do one more, everyone. the extract from the guideline states that. Interesting. Someone says this one easier than the previous one. I think it depends also on vocabulary. Maybe the other one had a little bit more complicated vocabulary or your area. But yeah, very fact-based. The extract from the guidelines, so we've got a guideline, states that ICU staff can be seconded to other words. Does anyone know what that means? It's not pronounced seconded, it's pronounced seconded. Seconded means you're cherry-picked and moved to another ward, perhaps based on being busy. So ICU staff can be seconded or called upon to other wards. Only, watch out for this word, only a consultant can refer a patient to ICU. That's a little bit like 100%, isn't it? It's a bit like your must, everyone, when you see this word. Only, that's saying no one else. So 100%, only a consultant can refer a patient to the ICU. That should be quite useful information to help us rule in or rule out. B could be correct, it could be wrong, but we should be able to find that out. C, the ICU is fully, now watch your adverbs, the ICU is fully responsible for a patient in their care, fully responsible, not anyone else, only ICU. All right, it's all about the ICU, this one, everyone. Again, when you think you know what's wrong, type it in. Okay. Unplanned admission to the ICU need a referral at consultant level. They need it, right? That doesn't quite match B, though. In exceptional circumstances, referrals will be discussed with the ward registrar looking after the patient if a delay, referrals will be discussed with the ward registrar looking after the patient if a delay in referral would lead to the rapid deterioration of a patient. What does that tell you? What can we rule out from that phrase? Have a think about that. I think there's one answer we can rule out. 6.2.2. All patients discussed with the ICU staff. Let's just underline a few things here, everyone. All patients discussed with the ICU staff but not admitted remain under the care of the primary team. Okay, so they were discussed with ICU but not admitted. So they're still with the primary team. And as such, they remain responsible for reviewing and escalating care should deterioration occur. I've got a question, everyone. What does they mean here? We're going to be very careful about this. Can anyone tell me what they means in 6.2? Does it mean the patients? Does it mean the ICU staff? Okay, or does it mean the primary team? You got three choices there. They remain responsible for reviewing and escalating care should deterioration occur. So they remain. Who remains responsible? The patients, the ICU staff, or the primary team? What do you think, everyone? Some saying ICU staff. Yep. Too tricky. It's only one of them. It's only one. All right, I'll leave that there. Some saying the patient. Whoever it is, they remain responsible for reviewing and escalating care. So whoever it is, they have that responsibility. 6.23, I'll give you the answer to that in a moment. We encourage collaborative patient-centered care. Yay, that's good. However, the ICU is defined as a closed unit. This means, watch your signal words. This means that when a patient is admitted into the ICU, now we know this is going to be an important sentence, everyone. This means that when a patient is admitted into the ICU, they are under the care of the ICU team. It is expected that members of the primary referring team will liaise directly with the ICU team to discuss the patient's management. Okay, so members of there's that other team. There's two teams. We've got ICU team and we got the primary referring team. So it's expected that members of the primary referring team will liaise daily with the ICU team. There's two teams, got to communicate to discuss the patient's management. However, it's up to the ICU team to make final decisions. Always be aware. So I think this signal word, and this one here, however, are very important. Okay, tell me what you think is right and wrong. A, ICU staff can be seconded to other wards. Well, they don't talk about staff moving, do they? Patients are moving, but not staff. All right, so that's wrong. B, only a consultant can refer a patient to the ICU. Well, I think we ruled out that before, didn't we, everyone? Didn't we rule out that before? It says here, this is the key. Look, again, it's another signal word. We know that's wrong because it says in exceptional circumstances, referrals can be discussed with the ward registrar. So the ward registrar looking after the patient can get involved. So no, not only. The problem is the word only. All right. Notice what I do, everyone. If I remove that word only, it's correct. So it's often the case in OET or any MCQ, one word makes it wrong. So the answer, everyone, is the ICU is fully responsible. Yes, that matches C. And a lot of people are saying that's the answer. Well done. But it is. ICU is fully responsible. It says it is up to the ICU to make final decisions on the patient. And they are under the care of the ICU team. That's what it is. But look, everyone, a lot of people got the question I asked wrong. What does they mean? Actually, they here means the primary team. Because it's, if you look at the sentence, compound sentence, all patients discussed with the ICU staff, but not admitted under the care of the primary team. So all patients discussed with the ICU staff, but not admitted, okay, so they were just discussed, remain with the primary team, the original team. And as such, they remain responsible. So what we've done, we've sort of gone from active to the passive. Patients discussed with the ICU staff, but not admitted. They were not admitted, remain under the care. This team is doing the care. And as such, they, the team, the primary team, remain responsible for reviewing. So it's the primary team. In B, this is not the ICU. All right. So they means primary team. Just be aware of that, everyone. It means primary team. All right. And that's it, everyone. Now, we analyzed them to death. We looked at it. We went through it. But it was nice, don't you think, everyone? Don't you think that this reading part B, the same with listening part C, really, really nice tasks. My advice to everyone, look, build that vocabulary, practice your part Bs. Same thing applies to listening. Get really good at it. Get your, 5 out of 6 correct. That will go a long way to a successful result. All right, getting some good news stories. Ahmed says, I passed my exam and you came to say hello and thank you because you did a course with OET Online. Well, that's very good timing, Ahmed, because you can as well, everyone. If you've got an exam coming up and you want to do a bit of study with OET Online, then look, do come along and visit us because we have everything you need if you want to do a paid course. But if you want to try before you buy, good idea, come and check out our free taster course. In our free taster course, you're going to get some profession-specific writing material. You're going to get all your profession-specific speaking content, audios, transcripts, sample, role-play tasks, and so on. You're going to get, we've got great reading and listening material, everyone. Don't forget with OET Online, we've got our exam, 2.0 exam, part A, part B, part C that we've made ourselves. We've got all that, but we've got a reading library, which is just great because we've been doing OET for so long. We've got this huge bank of resources that we want to share with you. It's called our reading library. The same applies to listening. We've got a listening library. And that's if you're in the process of building vocabulary and raising your level so you can take on OET. We all know language learning takes time, everyone. So that's what that is for. So yeah, look, if you ever have questions, you can send an email at info@oetonline.net.au, or you can just come along and visit our website, everyone. And I'll drop you a link, everyone. Check it out here. We've got great options for everyone, and just do a browse around, and always give people a direct link, everyone. If you want to create a new account and check out the free taster course, I'll just drop that link in for you. So you've got it there. I might just try to drop it in on the YouTube chat as well. Yep, check that out. And lastly, since we've done a speaking class today, and if I was coming to the side here, oh, by the way, everyone, let's just go back out to our site. So this is our website. Down the bottom, just so you know, we work with Capital Nurse, NHS, helping them get nurses into their program. We work with Core Community Services. They're a great group helping a lot of refugees coming into Australia. We're an All Stars provider. That means we met all the requirements that OET sets to be the top level provider. And we're also a premium preparation provider. So we have a long-standing relationship with the OET Centre, and we 100% support this exam, passionate about this exam and helping you guys succeed. If you do come along to our website, you just select your profession, whatever it might be. You'll see all our courses, everyone. I mentioned in the last prep hour, we have a new range of plus courses. You can check that out here. But today we did reading. So if you want to read faster, build vocabulary, improve your analytical skills, click here. Great range of reading options, everyone. Reading Platinum, reading Standard, or just a simple reading module with content only. Great stuff there, everyone. Check out the options, read it through, think about it, see what works for you. If reading we know is a big challenge for a lot of people. You've got to get 350 in most cases. If you're scoring below 300 and it fits your budget, go for Platinum, all right? This is for your below 300s. If you're scoring 300 to, say 320, 330, probably go for your standard one. What's the difference? Platinum, well, they both have our twice weekly live classes that we run, and I'm teaching reading every Tuesdays. And they both have that twice weekly live class, which are recorded. But in the Reading Platinum, you get 10 full sets plus your reading library. That's 10 full mock tests. Standard, you get 5 of each. That's still terrific value. All right. And you get long access up to 6 months or 4 months. But that doesn't mean you can't condense your study in a shorter time frame. Our courses are designed to be studied really quickly, because we keep all that recorded videos available. And if you just want material only, these are excellent value, our reading and our reading sets here. We have 2 modules, module 1 and module 2. People often ask, what's the difference? Pretty simple, different tasks in each module. All right, everyone, that's what we do. We can help you succeed, as we've helped lots of people like Ahmad here. Yep, Shime, sign up to a course if you're still not good at reading. Sign up today. It's always live classes. will get you on track. And if you work hard, you can make it. All right, everyone, you have a wonderful, wonderful week ahead. And this is the last one I'm doing for the end of 2022. So I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year and exam success on your next attempt. Bye for now.